Aloha and welcome to Paradise Hawaiian Style. We are walking down Date Street right now on our second half of our very exciting Alawai walking tour. So I'll flip the camera over in a minute, but just to recap, we are walking down Date Street up next to the Alawai Golf Course. We are going to explore the Diamond Head side of the Alawai Canal as opposed to the Ewa side that we did last time. We're also going to be walking on the beach side, or the Makai Waikiki side of the canal. So let's get going. Let's see what's happening, and hope you enjoy the walk. Remember to follow me, like me down below, let me know what kind of stuff you want to see. I'm actually passing one of the great banyan trees that is over here. Isn't that great? They even did a little thing with the bike path there and shortened it up to fit the tree in there. Nice mature tree along Date Street here. But this part of the walk is a little boring, but let's flip it over when we get to the golf course and you'll see a little bit of that, and then we'll go from there. Aloha. All right, we're walking past the maintenance yard here for the Alawai golf course. You can get the first glimpse here of how beautiful and luscious this golf course is. It's sort of a paradise in the middle of the Waikiki metropolis. There's Diamond Head poking through over there. This is a great little bike path. You can see it's a straight shot. A lot of people walking their dogs, exercising, biking, all that sort of stuff. There's some small condos and buildings on the side here. This place burned. There's a fire there, like I want to say 7-8 years ago, and it's still just sitting there. Not sure what's up with that. As we continue down the golf course, you can see this is one of the only golf courses that's close to the city. The other ones are a little further out. Actually, right now they're having a big golf tournament at the Kahala Country Club. There's a lot of celebrities in town and they are having a golf tournament. I believe it's called the Sony Open, and they have it every year in the beginning of January. So if you're a golfer, that's the golf course that's on the other side of Diamond Head Crater. This golf course is a public or city golf course, and it is in the middle of just outside of Waikiki. Not sure how easy or difficult it is to get reservations to come to this golf course, but it always seems to be very busy and is a favorite for locals and visitors. Golf carts whizzing by. Actually, those little umbrellas are attached to their golf bags. Isn't that cool? Kind of a cute functional thing there. Kind of a cool, older 60s kind of inspired little apartment complex here on Date Street. Kind of Melrose Place-esque in a Hawaiian sort of way. If you know about Melrose Place and the courtyard and the apartments surrounding the courtyard, blah, blah, blah. Not too many of those kind of buildings around anymore. Most of them are being torn down so they can build big buildings like this. You'll see like houses built in the like 1920s and 1930s, and then right next to it, big apartment buildings built in the 70s and 80s. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. This house was not burnt out the last time I walked by here. This literally must have just happened. As a matter of fact, I think that they had painted this house and cleaned it up. And now it's burnt out. I don't know what happened there. Wow, that's new, guys. News alert, news alert. Burned out house there. Hoping everybody was all right. It's like a lot of junk in there. Maybe something caught on fire. The plumeria tree made it though. Beautiful. All right, guys, coming up to the end of Date Street where it meets Kapahulu. I don't know if you can see that Starbucks off in the distance, but it's in a really cool like 1920s Art Deco kind of building that's still there. This little area is always a hot spot for filming, especially the old original Hawaii Five-0. There was one episode that jumps to my mind where they had a car that was stalled here, and then there was somebody in the car that had passed out or something, blah, blah, blah. Jack Lord needed to come help them, and it was a big deal. Anyways, it was filmed right here, and that building was in it. Not the Jack in a Box over there, but the other building that Starbucks was in. I don't know what was in the location of the Starbucks, but the building was there. Anyways, busy corner. We're not going to be walking down Kapahulu because we want to walk the back part and stay on the bike slash walking path. And here we are turning from the golf course. You can see the beautiful water feature there. Busy Kapahulu, Popeyes, Jack in a Box. It's debatable, but actually I kind of like Popeyes better than a lot of other chicken places. Their chicken sandwich is pretty tasty, better than some of the other ones that are out there. Won't name any names. So this little bike path actually goes in between the golf course and some of the buildings that are on Kapahulu. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of a nice little walk off the main sidewalk. Nice little path there. See Diamond Head popping up there. Hopefully I'm keeping a pretty good pace for you guys. I actually wised up a little bit and got my little selfie stick. I'm like, I have one of those selfie sticks somewhere. Got my selfie stick, put it on there, put the camera on, so hopefully the audio's okay, but hopefully it's not as jarring and jumping around as it was when I was holding it with my hands. Know what I'm saying? Anyways, great little path here. This building right here is actually for sale. Yes, it is. I always like to look at the real estate stuff and just see what stuff's going for. It's an office building. Looks like it's about 3 floors. Down on the bottom floor there is parking. And they want $14 million for it. But you know what? Real estate in Hawaii does nothing but go up in value. Even when all the other housing crisis, blah, blah, blah was happening, things might have remained the same, stagnant, or just maybe gone down a little bit. But overall, in Hawaii, the real estate just goes up and up and up. Not that I have $14 million to get that building, but any of you out there that are looking, it's a great little office building on busy Kapahulu Avenue, a couple blocks from Waikiki. This is a recycling center. Episcopalian church across the street there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's been there forever too. And here we are with the golf course. Like I said, we're on the Diamond Head side of it. All of those buildings there, I'd say 80% of them are apartment buildings. People forget about all the people that actually live in Waikiki. See, Waikiki has 3 main streets. Alawai Boulevard, that's where we're going to be walking on, then Kohio, and then Kalakaua, and then the beach. So a lot of the blocks in between the Alawai and Kohio are apartment buildings and housing. And a lot of people live in that area. Now, a lot of the properties in between Kohio and Kalakaua are hotels and shops and whatnot, right? And then of course from Kalakaua to the beach, where there is area for development, those are hotels as well. But anyways, Waikiki is a densely packed area. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're younger. All the action's there, all the things to do, all the things to eat, go out, all that is right there. And then you can stumble a couple blocks to your apartment and you're there. All right. Now our little bike path, walking path, curved back so that we're almost on Kapahulu. That's Bailey's Antiques and Aloha shirts. Always on TV. In fact, there was an episode of the new Five-0 where the one guy was in a gambling match, and one of the things he lost in the gambling match was his vintage Aloha shirt. And then they found the Aloha shirt later. He was murdered, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But anyways, they had to come here to do their research on the history of the Aloha shirt. So anyways, Hawaii Five-0 trivia for you there. So you can see there's a lot of tourists that will walk this little stretch here. Sometimes they're just walking up the street to go to the grocery store. Safeway's up there. But a lot of times they're going to Leonard's for the famous Malasadas. Malasadas are delicious and great, don't get me wrong. But I feel you have to eat malasadas within 5 minutes of them being finished, of being pulled out of the fryer, rolled into sugar and eating them. If you wait too long or they get too cold, they just lose their appeal. So a lot of people get malasadas and then save them forever. And that's not the way to do it. You just eat malasadas right then and there. So if you're gonna go and do all this walking and head all the way up there, a couple more blocks past that Zippy's that's off in the distance, eat the malasadas there. Don't bring them back with you. Just eat them there and enjoy them. Rainbow Drive-In, that has been there forever. Actually, just saw another episode of Hawaii Five-0 where Steve and his girlfriend, this is the new 5-0, were sitting in the parking lot there in his pickup truck having their plate lunches, discussing a case. Rainbow Drive-In's been there forever. Plate lunches are a staple in Hawaii. Plate lunches, it's a delicious combination of usually like rice, mac salad, and then some sort of protein like kalbi ribs, mahi-mahi, kalua pork, whatever you want. Some sort of protein, a couple scoops of mac salad, a couple scoops of rice, plate lunch. All right, again, we're on the Diamond Head side of the golf course. Ooh, that tree over there doesn't look like it's doing so good, does it? It's just branches now. We'll probably likely cut it out. Hopefully replant it and put another tree in there. Continuing down Kapahulu, you can see the tourist family, obviously. I'm assuming they're tourists over there. Heading on down, not that guy, he's obviously a local on a bike carrying his golfing bag. Those guys walking down there, I bet you 20 bucks they are going to go get malasadas. And I want to tell them, eat the malasadas there. Don't wait and take them back to your hotel room with you. Eat them there. Anyways, walking down Kapahulu, golf course. That over there, well, the one building is like a library. I know that for sure on the left. But on the right, I think that's some sort of institute for hearing or some sort of institute for something or another. I'm not sure. But you go back down that road and you get to the entrance for the golf course, and then there's like a little, not little, but a building there where they have all kinds of like amenities for the golf course, food and offices and what have you. Off in the distance straight ahead there is the corner of the Honolulu Zoo. That could be another adventure someday. We're gonna stick to walking around the Alawai. Could zoom in over there and try to see what it says on the wall there as far as what kind of building that is. We'll do that in a second, but I want to show you guys this is the main entrance for the Alawai golf course. Oh, and it's been graffitied a little bit. Oh well. There's the golf course. Now, I don't know if you can tell from the shot here, but this is some sort of basin reservoir for flood control or water mitigation for when it rains too much. To sort of protect Waikiki from flooding or the Alawai overflow. You can see how it's built down into like a little gully or valley or what have you, for the water to sort of pool in that area instead of overflowing into Waikiki. Interesting, huh? Aha, see, I was right. That building over there is also a library for the blind and partially disabled. And then this is the regular Waikiki library right here. I haven't been in there in a while, but it's got a cool 60s retro vibe. Let's walk across the street. See if this person lets me cross real fast here. Diamond Head peeking up, fire station, and of course, the Waikiki Kapahulu Library. Oh, look, they're actually bringing kids here and stuff. That's really nice to see. Have a cool building. Got a lot of great architecture in the 60s style. Like I said, over there, it's the corner of the zoo. And actually a really cool street. I want to call it Maki Street. Anyways, it's got like a canopy of trees going down there. It was in one of my other videos a while ago. But it's a really cool street. And sometimes if you're lucky, you look off to the right there, you can see the heads of the giraffes poking out. All right, so here we are at the beginning of Alawai Boulevard. All right, Waikiki Elementary. Not sure about that. I definitely know it's a school. I just don't know what the name of it is. Funny little side story. About 20 years ago, my car died right here. I was coming around the bend there, coming onto Alawai Boulevard, and then all of a sudden it just sort of petered out and died. Luckily I was kind of in this offshoot lane, and the car just came to a stop right here. So if it was going to happen, this was a good place for it to happen. I can't remember what was wrong. I think it was a timing belt just snapped or something and had to get the car towed. But anyways, that happened here. At one time, the Alawai Canal, which as you can see begins or ends right here, was actually supposed to continue through this whole area here and then go alongside the zoo and then go out to the ocean, kind of by where the natatorium is. But for whatever reason, when they were building it, they did not complete that last part of it. And consequently, the Alawai has always had a problem with being kind of stagnant and kind of polluted because it's very hard to get the water to flush through. So in the last couple of years, they've been throwing Genki balls. Genki means good, right? And these balls have all this stuff in them, these enzymes and blah, 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 things that eat up all the bad stuff. So it's kind of clearing up the water a little bit and making it a little bit more, not swimmable, at least not yet, but it's getting a little clear, especially in the parts of the water that are closer to the ocean. You'll start to see seals and other things coming into the Alawai Canal, whereas they never did that before. Anybody who's coming here and thinks they might want to fish here, don't. There's still signs everywhere that says do not fish or eat the fish from the Alawai Canal. It's no good. All right, there's the golf course. We're going to continue our walk down the Alawai Canal. Continuing our walk down the Alawai here. These surfboard markers are really cool. They're actually all over town, and I think you can probably get a little flyer, or there's likely a website that'll tell you where all the markers are, so you can walk around and see what these different areas are and how they're related. And you can see what the Alawai Canal used to look like when it was marshlands. Waikiki was actually all marshlands, and they had to build the Alawai Canal to control the water flow, and then creating Waikiki, some of the most expensive, popular real estate in all of Hawaii, some may say all of the world. But it all started with the marshlands of Waikiki and the Alawai Canal that was built to create what we know as present-day Waikiki. All right, guys, just walking down the canal. It's actually kind of low because a lot of times you won't see any of those rocks down there, and they'll be covered in water. Oh, did you see that? That flat jumping fish there? Some fish just jumped out of the water. I don't know if I caught that or not. Kind of cool. Hopefully you heard it if you didn't see it. Nice to see the wildlife coming back. There's a duck floating off in the distance there too. Those Genki balls were actually doing the trick. Definitely low tide. Actually, happy to not see a lot of trash. Usually there is a lot of trash in the Alawai, and hopefully I haven't spoken too soon, but at least down here on this end, looks relatively clean. There's some people fishing. What I tell you, don't eat the fish. Fish, catch them, throw them back in, don't eat them. And that's the other side of the Alawai golf course. Just beyond those trees is that 2-3-story building, just like the clubhouse, I think, or some sort of building associated with the golf course. Walking down the Alawai. Too bad this is not smell-o-vision, but actually there is an aroma in the air of the Alawai. Kind of fishy. And actually, you can kind of see what I mean. There was a time, I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you wouldn't be able to see the water, what's below the surface there at all. Totally murky. Now, partially murky, not as bad as it has been. Ooh, through those trees down that road, you can see the ocean. Dog. Maybe I'll try to find a postcard of it, but there used to be what looked like lifeguard chairs all along the side here, so that people would sit in the lifeguard chairs and fish from them. This is back in the 1960s or 70s. I never saw it in person, but I have seen pictures of it. I've also seen pictures of a time when they used to have these little Alawai boat cruises, where people would take rowboats and rent them and could go up and down the Alawai. More recently, they tried to do, and I don't know what happened to it because it's not there anymore, they tried to do like a Italian gondola kind of ride up at the one end of the Alawai here. I saw it on the news. It was really cool actually, because the boat was all lit up and it looked like a gondola from Venice, but I guess it didn't take off. Maybe it's that fishy smell. Alright guys, the Alawai looking particularly green and lush today. Mountains looking a little overcast up there, but you know what? We gotta have the rain to have the green, right? The rain is what makes everything beautiful. This building over here says now leasing. I wonder how much those apartments are going for. I bet you they're probably one bedrooms, and I want to say that they are probably $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Like I was describing before, this is kind of a residential part of Waikiki in between the Alawai Boulevard and Kohio. But it costs money to live in this part of town for this convenience. 3 blocks from the beach. Alright guys, continuing down the Alawai, taking a brief shot to what's behind us, the back end of Diamond Head. And you can notice the sidewalk changes here a little bit. There's a grassy area to the right and the left. It only goes on for a couple of blocks, and then the part on the right disappears and becomes the Alawai again. Not sure what the story is behind this, but it's a cool little feature, and there's some great little areas here as well. They've been talking a lot lately about doing some work to the Alawai, as sort of a 100-year flood plan, because all the water from that mountains up there comes down, and this Alawai can get pretty swollen sometimes. And it's a real danger to all the apartments and hotels and all the valuable real estate to my left. So they're talking about building up a wall on this side of the canal. This is the Army engineers, to raise it up 4 or 5 feet. I was in Charleston once, and it reminds me of the pictures of something I saw there, where you basically it's like a wall. It's a wall, but you can walk on top of it and all that. But it's a wall about 4 or 5 feet up. Not sure how I feel about that. I guess it has to happen with what's going on today with ocean level rise and all that. to protect Waikiki, but it might not be that appealing looking, although they could do something nice and tropical with it and put flower plants and blah blah blah. We'll see what happens. They've been talking about it forever, just like they've been talking about putting a walking bridge up here. I'll talk about that in a minute. They've been talking about that for years. Who knows if and when that's going to happen. You can see up here, this little part ends, and the Alawai, the little grassy area on the right ends, and the sidewalk strings. There's that crane, again, for Iolani School, building that new building there that we talked about last time, and the back part of the golf course. Up ahead there is that little inlet that we walked down last time for some of the water that comes from the mountains and empties into the Alawai Canal, and that's where that little dog park is too, and those Alawai gardens. You can see now that that is the Malka or mountainside, and we are walking on the Makai or water side. Alawai is one way going Ewa or west. Kalakaua goes east towards Diamond Head, and then Kokio is a two-way street. Before my time, Kalakaua used to be a two-way street, but I've only seen photos. I don't think the Alawai was ever two ways. All right, interestingly enough, see this little thing here? This little like access into the water? Yeah, so you could get into the water, right? But most of these have been filled in. There's one of those signs that's been spray painted over. Do not eat, do not fish, don't swim. I think they really don't want people going into the water, so most of those little entryways are filled in. I'll try to find one up here and see. I already walked past one that was filled in, so not sure why that one was still open. Anywho, as I mentioned before, this little area up here, just past the dog park and the community gardens, you can see the little docks up there where that Alawai, one of the canoe houses is for when they do the canoe practice. That's where they want to build a pedestrian bridge. I think they want to build it wide enough so that they could have emergency vehicles go over it, but supposedly it's going to be mainly a pedestrian bridge. Let me see if I can find some artist renderings of what they want to do, and I will put it right here. All right, back to the walk. They have been talking about building that for years, and so I don't know if it's actually ever going to happen, but we'll see. I actually at one time worked in the middle of Waikiki, not far from right here, so that bridge would have been super useful to me, but that's been many years. And so I don't think it'll be a benefit for me anymore, but I don't know. Some people are upset about it because they're going to say there's going to bring the crime and the homeless and the vagrants from Waikiki and make them closer to this little area, which is like a little condo area and houses and stuff. But that kind of happens already, so I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. There's another park further up there where that theoretically could happen on McCully, but it doesn't really because they kind of police it and clean it up all the time. So that's just what they got to do. Here's a building there, the one that's kind of got that light greenish look. That definitely looks 1920s. Look at the architecture, that little patio on lanai on the top. Anyways, they did really a beautiful job on the Alawai here with the coconut palm trees. Where they want to build the wall is right off to the right here. And then keep this here. If you kind of look on the left, you'll see sometimes there's little mounds there. It's supposed to be a sort of a natural barrier to sort of help with the water flow. It's more visible in certain areas. Coming up here on the left, hey, they fixed this water fountain. Last time I was here, it was busted. It's kind of nice to have a water fountain, but it's leaking. But anywho, see up here on the left, you can see how there's like a mound there. I don't know how they figured it out, where to put those mounds, but it's supposed to like help with the water flow, right? So if the Alawai Canal overflows, there's a little mound there for like flood control. But it's not right here, so I don't know how that works. Got any ideas? You can let me know. Again, you can see the Alawai Canal is actually kind of low today, but there are times when it literally comes up pretty high, especially on the right side. The right side is not as high, the wall, as it is here on the left side. Do you guys prefer it when I talk and tell you about stuff? Or should I just keep my mouth shut and just walk? Sometimes I got a lot to say. And you're the only one listening. Nah, it's all good. Whatever works. I'm still sort of rambling on here till we get to this little access way here, because I'm hoping or thinking that it might be filled in with concrete so I can show you the difference, right? Again, this is where they want to build the bridge, the pedestrian bridge. That's one of the canoe houses. We were there on our other walking tour. That's where we started and ended it, just for a reference point. Ah, yeah, see? This one is filled in. Look at that, crazy, right? See how it's all filled in? Not sure why they chose to fill it in some spots, but not all the spots. I get why they filled it in, because they don't want people accessing the water that easily, or maybe it's all part of the plan to eventually build the wall up here on the right side. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This building here is actually really cool. That apartment right up there, or is it that one there? That's a super Melrose Placey building. Actually, it looked more Melrose Placey before they renovated it. I'm not sure. It's so crazy. I mean, look at the tile and then the lattice fencing. Not the way I would have done it, but there used to be a big tree in the middle, and it's super Melrose Place, courtyard. Anyways, that apartment up there, number 5, was, or maybe it was this apartment over here. Anyways, it was on the old Magnum PI. Magnum comes in looking for some information. The landlady comes in with her gun, says, hey, get out of here, blah, 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 and they end up becoming pals. But anyways, it's kind of a cool shot because that building was still there, and then you could see all the background stuff behind it. So I always can appreciate that building. Don't know if I appreciate what they did to it. I like that they cleaned it up. That's a good thing. But there's some questionable design choices there. You let me know what you think. If you're still with me, if you're not, that's okay too. Couple cute 2-story apartment buildings here. Sometimes this little corner up here on the left gets full of trash when it rains really hard and everything comes down from the mountains, and it all sort of catches there. Hope you had a good time. We're almost at McCully. We'll do the other part later. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I know it was going to end on the other side there, but I got some bonus footage for you. I couldn't pass up the canoe paddlers. I thought you guys might get a kick out of the canoe teams that are based out of the Alawai boathouses, and then they do their practices. This is actually nothing. Sometimes there's like 10 of them and they practice their races and stuff. These guys are just doing a little workout, but it's still super cool to see. Aloha, and hey, just wanted to thank you for joining us on our little walk today. I hope you had a good time. I'm back here at the beginning of the Alawai Canal because it's kind of a nice shot, and I just wanted to say aloha to you here. Thanks for watching. Please like, respond, comment, give me a sticker, whatever you want down below. I'm trying to create a YouTube channel here with some fun stuff. YouTube and or Facebook, not sure which way I'm gonna go, or do both. You tell me. Anyways, I stopped here because it's kind of a cool spot. A lot of people think that this was a spot that was used in the filming of Blue Hawaii and or Paradise Hawaiian Style, but spoiler alert, it's neither. This is the Alawai Canal. This is not the canal where Elvis sang the Hawaiian wedding song at the end of Blue Hawaii, and this is not the canal where Elvis sang Drums of the Islands from Paradise Hawaiian Style. It's the Alawai Canal, and thank you for walking with me, and we'll see you real soon. Aloha!